pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, Bill.
We have enough seats?
Yeah. All right, can I get a motion to open up the town board meeting September 28th?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
I got Phil, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, we do.
Phil?
We do one at a time. It was Doug and Phil tied, so I put Doug and Phil. You guys came in.
It was Rick and Phil, but that's just.
No, it was Doug and Phil.
So it was the three of them. Okay. And George seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
One at a time.
Which one?
The very first one, introduction to law number 5, amending chapter 49 construction codes, the code of the town of Goshen to omit typographical errors and amend provisions to ensure the consistency and clarity.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public have comments? Anyone from the board have comments? No? Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve the local law number 3 of 2023, amending chapter 49?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Can I get a motion to open up the public hearing for introduction to law number 7 of 2023, amended chapter 86 of the code of the town of Goshen to provide for the collection of hotel motel room occupancy tax?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anything from the public? Anything from the board?
Well, as you have, you said, and I guess it's in the budget too, it's anticipated that's,
$1.1 million to the budget for 2024.
Yeah.
That's based on what the county received this year at the same percentage that we'd be getting. However, the county exec in his budget to the counties in 2024, he believes that they're projecting, the county number was 4.4 million, they're projecting that number goes to 6.3 million. So I would imagine that we're gonna see an increase in that 1.1 million.
Yes, hopefully.
and it's 5% for all, Airbnbs and.
Not every, B&Bs. B&Bs.
Not air, not.
Well, they're illegal as of right now. We haven't done anything with
Well,
that.
original, there was something in there about Airbnb.
Correct,
And that's why we have the new one?
correct.
Okay.
So it's all short-term, legal short-term rentals, including hotel, B&Bs,
Right.
and it's the first step that we have to get through in order to determine what Airbnbs are, how they're gonna factor in
And
in
it
the
extends into
town.
the village as well?
Excuse me?
Extends into the village as well?
The village has their own
They have
5%.
their own.
Does
That we are
the
town.
town collect on?
Is that the A fund?
Yes, the town collects on all facilities in the village, so
Right.
essentially, the
A fund.
hotel on Hatfield Lane is going to be assessed at 15% tax. 5 to the county, 5 to the town, and 5 to the village. Legolands will be 10%. 5 to the county, 5 to us.
Right.
So anybody that is in the village gets the additional 5%.
And as you said, that language was cleared up, right? We have no problem with the 5% on that Legoland property existing.
It's done.
Until now.
Yep, they've given me the go-ahead, they will not contest it.
Right.
Anything else from the board?
That's good.
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing, introductory law number 7?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve local law for 2023, amending chapter 86 of the code of the town of Goshen to provide for collections of a hotel motel room occupancy tax?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. Okay.
Supervisor, I just want to point out, Mr. McClune came. We don't have him on the agenda, so.
I know,
remember-
we'll add him to it. All right, so that being said, can I also, item number 1 is to review and approve the resolution relative to the hotel tax.
That's the one that we,
Did we just do that?
No, you
No,
put
The very
the
first
law,
one.
the law itself,
Look.
the resolution's gotta go up on the, because of the home rule, so we forward it up to
So
the
we-
state.
To the state? Okay.
Yeah, we'll allow Larry to implement
that's
it.
this one
Okay.
we received.
Yeah, it should be about a page and a half,
Yeah.
Right.
or just a page.
We
from
just
there.
got it at 6:35.
Okay. Yeah, that's the new one that we just paid.
I don't have to read it in, do I?
No.
No.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
You need a
You
motion?
need a motion to approve the resolution?
Then it's a roll call.
It's a roll call.
Okay, so moved, I'll make the motion.
Second? Okay. Phil?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
And I'm aye. All right. Item number 2. Review and authorize the supervisor to sign the stormwater construction completion guarantee in the amount of $490,294.99 to ensure the completion of activities relative to the stormwater pollution prevention plan, SWPPP, and maintenance guarantee in the amount of $6,000 for 114 Hartley Road, AKA Cam Enterprises. Sean put it together, he sent us a letter, he agrees with the pricing that John O'Rourke came up with, and that'll be in the form of performance bond.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions on it? Doug, anything? All right, so I need a motion to approve the stormwater construction completion guarantee.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
And you need a motion to authorize you, Joe, to sign.
I'm doing that next. I need a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the stormwater construction completion guarantee and the maintenance guarantee for 114 Hartley Road. Second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Here we go. Review and discuss the Town of Goshen 2024 tentative budget. Myself and Phil worked very closely with Christine. She did a phenomenal job on keeping us right where we wanted to be, not raising the taxes on the residents, and getting all of the requirements that our different departments need.
Yeah.
So,
You know, I went through this today with Christine, and I've got to highlight as well, that Christine's probably the best budget officer in the county.
she is.
And
She worked hard.
it's a lot of work.
Yep, she does. She works a lot of backup too. She has backup on
Knows what
everything.
she's talking about.
Yep, absolutely. And George, I know you had some questions that I tried to answer for you, but
Right. What was it, the DA 5130, 400,000. I guess that's the DPW equipment, so I guess the question is what is Broderick buying? Or did he
was that
submit
was that the truck? No, the dump truck?
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody's on
So that would be the third dump truck, and we still haven't gotten one from 2021. It's still on order. So at some point, the board's gonna have to make a decision on moving off of that bid that we have up in upstate New York bid and looking for somebody else to supply this, because we'll have 3 trucks, and our oldest truck is a 19, I believe, 58 International.
Yeah, we were buying some used ones through the years. I wonder if the market of used, good used, or ones that we could refurbish is there in case we get an emergency.
There isn't an available piece of equipment anywhere, used or new. They buy it up as soon as it comes off.
Yeah.
The problem that we do have is that we're buying from a specific company
Oh, yeah.
off of a specific bid.
Yeah.
So I told Rod to go out and take a look at what we have and see if there's anybody out there. And if there's an increase, we may have to come back in front of the board to increase the funding to get what we need.
Yeah, I mean-
That 58 is gonna go down sooner or later.
Yeah, what he has to do is make sure the specs are general,
Yep.
so we can get more bids and then from different dealerships, and at that point, we can go off the state bid and whatever.
I know I told you it would be a little late, Tony, but you're already approved.
Yeah.
We kept you focused.
Good, something good to go?
Yeah, you're good to
Yeah.
go.
Well done.
Thank you.
Now you can go back and have your dessert, you know?
There you go. Have a good night.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
That's-
Yeah, so you're right, but we're gonna have to
The
look at
different
that.
manufacturers, yeah, we don't have to stay with international, and that's,
Right.
that's, you know,
The only good thing about staying with one truck is that all the parts are there, everything's, you have one way to go.
It's true, but you know what, there's such a large span in
Yeah.
between the model years,
Yeah,
that there's so many changes that
Yeah.
a lot of the parts aren't interchangeable.
yeah.
So I think we should, you're right, I mean, we can't wait that long to get trucks.
Yeah.
And, so
Fall behind,
we
yeah.
have to look at and see how we can do that. Talk about it.
County's in the same boat. I spoke to Eric Canady. He said they are so,
Yeah.
they're fixing more than they normally would fix because they have no
Yeah.
choice. They can't get the stuff.
I agree, yeah. That's just. moving.
George, anything else?
Well, the next line I had, I think you answered already, and that was DB 4089, 200,000, that's ARPA money.
That's the ARPA money that we allocated for additional road work for next year. So we can try to get rid of the ARPA money,
Right.
correct?
That's the revenue, that's,
The revenue coming in from, moving over from ARPA. Yep.
right.
What I like about this budget is we're gonna end the year of 2024 with almost $5 million in
Mhm.
fund balance.
Yep.
That's,
And that could be higher based on,
yes, sure, whatever happens during the year.
And then I had, you said, you're gonna check that one.
which one is it?
DB 5112.
5112 on the 1,086,000.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Right, that's the road program. And
The
then-
road
Ah,
checks, okay.
right.
And then, yeah, the chips.
Right,
Yep,
that's,
okay.
that's okay.
But that
Yep.
was under equipment, is that the proper place that it should be?
No, it's under, well, it's capital really.
Right.
Capital / equipment. Anything in the 200 line, typically anything 5,000 and over is capital.
And did you say the 200 line?
Yes, 5112-200, anything
Oh,
with an
there's 200,
extension
I
of a
just see that.
2.
All mine had was 2, but
Yeah.
ran out of room.
Mhm.
Okay, and then, let's see, what the last one I had was DB 9060. That's hospital medical insurance. And, I know things are going up, but really, did it go up? I have it down as 100.
Well, you
100,000.
also have, understand, we had three new employees. So that's
Oh,
what
that-
increased that
that's
too.
what-
And
That's
plus,
did
we're
it.
still paying for the
Right.
retirees, so.
Yeah, okay.
So it wasn't a premium increase, it was an increase in employees also,
Right.
but it was a
Right.
premium
I
increase.
just
Yes.
saw the
Yeah.
100,000 and I wasn't thinking along the lines that was
Yeah.
additional staff. Oh, that's what I had, but then I have one other thing, and that's the ambulance corps.
Yeah.
So, Goshen Ambulance will respond in 2023 to approximately 2,600 calls from 911. That's approximately 7 calls each day, actually over 7 calls each day. Our budget for 2024 will be about 1.1 million. And the revenue that we'll receive, mostly from the insurance companies, is about 800,000. We'll use 100,000 from our unexpended balance, leaving a shortfall of about $200,000. In the existing budget before you tonight, we are receiving $60,000, which is the same as last year. So our ask is 140,000 from town funds, and we would also request some of the ARPA funds.
What are you getting from the village, George?
You got a sheet on that. This year, as of June, we got 25,000.
Okay.
And and I had this wrong, so there's actually $432,000 left in ARPA funds.
232,000.
We just said 400.
There was, but we allocated $200,000 already.
Oh, okay.
So there's 232,000 left in ARPA,
And
correct.
we would request, in combined, some of it being ARPA funds and some of it being town.
So,
Do you have a breakdown of where the calls are, George? You know, where
I
a
can
lot of
get-
the
I
calls
can-
are?
I can get that.
Just, I mean, if we're asking you to, I mean, I live in the village, so whatever I say affects me, but it's,
Yeah.
if you're asking us for a couple $100,000 and the village is paying 25,000 and the call ratio 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1. Somewhere along the line, there's something wrong with that.
The best I can tell you, and this
Yeah.
is kind of a stretch, it's about 50/50.
50/50?
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, for me, I look at it as everybody's a Goshenite. Whether you live in the village or live in the town. What I have a problem with is us servicing the town of Hamptonburg without having
Yes.
any funding
No
back to
money,
us.
right.
Have you asked and requested anything from them?
Yes, they have given us, for the last 5 or 6 years.
$2,500.
$2,500.
Well,
And they give Blooming Grove the same thing. And Blooming Grove has the same problem. It's just crazy.
And they're probably one of the richest towns in Orange County.
But Blooming Grove ambulance now is flush with money because they're a tax district as well, and then they also bill the patient for the insurance monies, and
So-
they're very well. Blooming Grove is very well, and of course they have now gotten to the point where we want to be. They're ALS. They have paramedics as well.
But they're ALS, right? And they bill. But you bill too, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
hardly anybody,
We-
I understand
we
Mobile
bill,
Life doesn't even come into Goshen hardly. So you do most of the billing for all the calls, I think.
Yeah, no,
Right? Yeah, you said.
except we have agreements with the town of Wallkill, because they're
Right.
ALS. We have an agreement with Blooming Grove, and also an agreement with Montgomery, that when they come in and they give their ALS services, they get a stipend from us. We get the BLS rate, and then they get the ALS rate for what they
Yeah.
have done on the ALS level, because we can't do that.
I see.
So, I mean, your total ask is how much? 125,000?
No, the total ask is 140,000. Oh, 60, you know,
60 you're getting already.
Yeah.
So an additional 80 from the town plus something from ARPA.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, what I'm saying is ARPA and funds, you know, a combination. I'm not looking for more than 140,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure we get there, but I can tell you that we are pretty stretched on the budget. We've taken quite a bit out of budget balance, correct, Christine?
yeah, it cut 300,000 or 3 million.
3 million.
3 million came out.
Well, no, 600,000 came out.
678.
Yeah,
Is that what
678.
it was? Okay, I thought it was 7.9 this year.
No, how much we're appropriating in the
I see.
2024
Right.
budget.
Right.
So we're appropriating
678,000.
678,000 out of our budget balances.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I gotta tell you, George, I don't know what we can do on the budget side. I would not have a problem, you know, with some ARPA money going towards, that would be up to the board, talk about a number. We do have $232,000 after we put the 200,000 into the highway road department. So, obviously, it would only be a one-time thing, so it's a Band-Aid for this year.
But I really do believe that the discussion going forward, so they don't get surprised at some point in time, is the village, if they're 50% of your calls, you need to, George, you need to go over there and talk to them like you talk to us. And see where that goes. Just so that they're not surprised in years to come when we're
Yeah.
trying to keep our
Good
budget.
evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
No, we intend to do that.
and the $2,500 that.
Yeah, and I ignored it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you required to go to Hamptonburg? Are they in your zone?
Yes, there's a thing called the con map. I was just looking at it tonight. It's a certificate of need. And the certificate of need goes out to all the different jurisdictions. So our jurisdiction at this particular point is all of the town and the village of Goshen, and about 40% of the town of Hamptonburg.
I'll just add on what I was saying then, talk to the village and talk to Hamptonburg. I mean, $2,500 isn't enough to.
Well, let's just delve into this a little bit more. Who issues the certificate of need? Or do you just,
The county.
so the county says that this is where we need ambulance service, and Goshen, you need to do 40% of ambulance.
It's called unfunded requirement.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I think that's.
The county's getting good as the state on
Well,
that.
but I don't think that legally we're bound by that, or you should be. You're a volunteer corps. I don't know how you can be bound by that when you're a volunteer ambulance corps, they may say, this is a good idea, or this is where you should go, or this is what Goshen should do without pay, but I don't think they can mandate that.
So there's a yin and a yang to it, because
Yeah.
there's calls that we respond to out there, specifically the nursing home, Campbell Hall Nursing Home. So if we shrink, and it's, I'm not saying
Right.
everything's possible, I'm not saying not to do it.
Right.
But if you shrink your CON, then of course there's gonna be less calls, and therefore less revenue. And as I said,
Well-
we're putting in about, we're gonna put, out of this budget, we're putting about 800,000
Wait.
from revenue.
Wait,
from
wait.
the
The thing I don't
billing.
understand is, if there are less calls and less revenue, then there's less loss.
Right.
Because you're not making a profit, you're losing money on this. I mean, financially, it's not, you could cover all of New York State and lose all, incredible amounts of money. So, when you're increasing your call, if you tell me that that becomes more profitable, I'll understand it. But if you're operating at a loss, the fact that you increase your calls, you're just gonna take a bigger loss. We shouldn't be a part of that.
I think, George, if you sit down in the village, or sit down in Hamptonburg, and see what you can do there, and then come back to us on or whatever it is we need to fill in with. But it needs to be reasonable from those people as well.
I have to tell you, I spoke to the people from Bloomingdale about Hamptonburg, and they're in the same position. And they're just thinking about just pulling in their horns and saying, we can't cover that area. First of all, you're taking a loss, so you can't cover an area where you're losing money, and they're not paying. So, something has to give. Goshen, taxpayers in Goshen, do not have to be responsible for all the townships and all of them. It's just wrong.
How much do you have in uncollected revenue that you don't collect from after they bill?
Well, it's, first of all, the first big thing is, basically, the bottom line is you have to transport the person
Yep, I understand that.
in order.
So if somebody else
to get
shows
any
up, you're not
revenue.
gonna get it, right?
So you go to a traffic accident,
Mhm.
and essentially what happens is the police, it seems like always, we're calling the ambulance, because they gotta put that in their chart,
Right.
that they call the ambulance.
Okay.
So we get there, and the people say, I don't need an ambulance, I'm not going to an ambulance. So we get what's called an RMA, refuse medical attention,
Mm.
and that's a zero. You don't get anyone for that.
And who determines that? Is that the law, or is that just the insurance company
Well-
saying we're not gonna pay it?
Basically, the insurance companies say, if you don't transport, and there are exceptions.
Well, if
there are
you're triaging
but
somebody
very
at the
few.
scene.
There's exceptions to the rule, but basically, if you don't transport, you can't get paid. Now, then the other thing is, people have no insurance, right? So, and they don't have any money as well,
Mhm.
so after a while, you have to write that off.
Right, that off, yeah.
What Joe just asked is, what are you holding in receivables? Bad debt.
Oh, bad debt? Geez, off the top of my head.
We haven't seen financial
I-
statement, I saw your tax
yes.
statement.
Oh, yeah,
No.
no, the 990 is, I gave it to Christine, so is
Financial.
there a line on that as far as debt that we wrote on?
Yeah,
I'm not that familiar.
Yeah, I don't.
there's
I
a
don't-
financial statement.
I don't have
that
it
has
But
here.
there is a 990, and the budget and the 990
Okay, I haven't
is
seen
all given
those.
to Christine.
Okay, I haven't seen.
But what, I really don't really
Yeah.
have an idea of how much actually is written on.
Yeah.
I can get it for you.
No, it should, on the financial statement, it should say 30, 60, 90, and, when, I don't know when you write them off. I mean, I'd have to analyze the financial statement. But at a certain point, that's when you write it
Yeah.
off.
Well, I will tell you though that we do send certain individuals who don't cooperate and people
Yeah.
just refuse to collections, and so we try
You
to.
do?
Yeah, go through that process to.
What does- what
do
the-
collections,
Huh?
and we get some of the
Yeah.
money back,
you get a piece of
but
it.
not a lot.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you bill out of a company in Buffalo. What's the percentage they take on billing?
Oh, it's a set fee for every PCR, the sheets that we send out, it's called PCRs. They bill us, these are the ones that we send to them. Some of them we don't send to them because we know we're not gonna get any money back, like the RNA. But the ones that we send to them, it's $35.
Regardless if you collect.
Right, $35, right?
Wow.
Now, some of them actually operate on a percentage.
Yeah.
This was more cost effective to us.
So if Hampton-Burg does not agree to kick in or pay their fair share, because you can do an analysis of how many calls you have, I would think,
Oh,
in
yeah.
Hampton-Burg and whatever,
Yeah.
and just present it to them and see what you get. If they say we're not gonna pay, I think we should notify the county and say, you have your 911 center, Mobile Life will cover them. Our ambulance is not gonna go into Hampton-Burg, period.
I'd be curious.
I don't know if you can do that now, I'm just asking.
Mobile Life is gone, so they're not gonna be covering anything.
What is
Well,
the-
fine.
What, do you get quite a few calls from a nursing home up in Campbell Home?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'm sure they
That's
do.
big revenue for you.
Yeah. Well, big loss.
No,
No, it's revenue.
it
Those
is-
are paying.
It is revenue, but essentially, the vast majority of those people are Medicaid. So Medicaid is the worst.
Worse,
It's a loss. It's a loss.
For the reimbursement.
That's a loss.
It's not,
Because
it's not a loss.
well, your
It's
expenses
pretty close.
exceed
Yeah.
the amount of income. You have revenue, but then you have expenses. You have labor and ambulance, and I'm sure that they are a loss. They, you know, call for call if you analyze it. You're not making money, right, George? You're not making money on Campbell Hall.
Well,
Nursing home.
as I said, if it was a Medicaid patient.
Yeah,
I would say that we make maybe, I don't know, off the top of my head,
yeah.
a regular call, because there's other things that happen with it, but I don't know, $100, $150.
Right, and it probably costs you 200 to go and service that call.
You're giving 35 to the billing company, so your net, that's about $120,
Right,
roughly.
and when you take
Well,
the.
I'm giving you figures that.
Yeah, no, we're
We're
just
trying
watching,
to
I understand that.
We're trying to get at it, we're trying to get at
Right.
it. Yeah, so when you figure the labor and the ambulance and the time and so on and so forth, you have a net loss on that call, there's no question. I just think Hamptonburg,
I don't think it's a net loss, but it's not something that you could really, like, unfortunately, I hate to even say this type of thing, but the best payers are no fault.
yeah, sure.
Those
Sure.
people pay, when you transport a traffic accident person, those are the best payers.
Well, when I say net loss, if you do all the expenses that you have to take into consideration, fuel, the mortgage on the building and all of that stuff, when you add it up per call, your income is not exceeding the amount that that call costs you. Otherwise, you'd be running at a profit, but you're not. So, anyway.
Yeah, you have to take into consideration the people that don't pay because they don't have insurance, so they don't.
Right.
Well, right. Well, I don't know, so from my perspective, George, it'd be tight to get more money out of the budget, considering we took that much money out of the fund balance, but I wouldn't have a problem if the other councilmen get whatever information they want. We reach out to Hamptonburg and the village and see if we can get any money in them. I wouldn't have a problem moving, you know.
Some more money into their budget? No,
Well,
I wouldn't.
taking the one-time opera fee, at least get them
Yeah,
through the
that's what I
process
mean,
of the next step on what they're
Yeah,
doing.
but they have to square that one away. I mean, those people have to pay for what the services you
Now,
give.
Christine, when we send, when do you have to send this up north?
November.
By November, the Thursday after Election Day
Oh,
is the
by
deadline.
week.
Yeah, plenty of time.
So it's the 26th actually is the public hearing. isn't that
Correct.
Of October.
October.
So,
October,
yeah, it was supposed to be done by November 15th.
I mean, but if you know, I would reach out to Molly, and I know that Supervisor Jankowski is in town on Monday for a meeting. I reach out to them and see if you can squeeze any more shekels out of them. And then, like I said, prior to that, I don't have a problem allocating ARPA money. That's part of what it's for.
And if the county deems this map or helps you draw the map where you're responsible, maybe they can help you. I don't know if someone in the county can help talk to them, people in Hamptonburg. Say, listen, you're in this call area, Goshen is doing it, but the citizens in Goshen are paying for
And
it.
they are a wealthy community.
Yeah.
No, for years and years and years, we've always been saying that they weren't
Yeah.
Okay.
pulling their weight, so to speak.
Blooming Road is going to take up this issue, because I just talked to them.
We talked at the meeting the other
At the
night.
meeting the other night, at table, that was a big conference, and I gave her my card, and she's gonna call me, and we're gonna sit down and talk more about it.
Yeah.
But she said they can't shoulder that responsibility and pay that also. So Blue Road's gonna put the hammer down, I can tell you that.
This time.
So,
Yeah.
so, knowing, because I've spoken to both of those people
Yeah.
already, it's almost, I mean, I certainly will do it. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna do it. I'll speak to Molly and Jankowski. But I don't think that the prognosis is too good for me getting more money out of them right now. So what I'm doing here is just trying to get more of the funding in the town, probably from the ARPA funds. It's probably what I'm.
But that's temporary too.
That's a one-year fix.
It's a one-year fix.
Yeah, it's one-year
We need to
fix.
fix this thing, George, going forward so that it's.
Well, the way to fix it is to become a tax district. And then you wouldn't have a line item here. We'd be our own line item, just like you have, as you saw from the sheets there. With
No, we're going down that.
You have to,
We're going down
yeah, but
that.
you have the same issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
doing it for
You haven't corrected the problem. What you're
Yeah.
saying is we'll just collect more from Goshen.
Right.
Because Hamptonburg's not paying,
No,
the
no,
village is not, I
no,
mean,
that's not what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm saying that with Blooming Grove and myself, that they would also be part of the tax district.
how could we make Blooming Grove become part of our taxing district? I'm
I'm
not sure
talking
about
about
that.
Hamptonburg.
Hamptonburg.
I mean, Hampton.
Hamptonburg.
Yeah.
So in other words,
That's
as
what I'm saying.
as we move forth with this, it would be some type, either a ambulance district for Hamptonburg or some other arrangement so that they are paying their fair share.
Have you talked to them about that?
No.
Oh, well, we're not gonna go, I'm not gonna talk about a taxing district.
Yeah, but that's part of, I think that's part of the overall package, but I think at the point if it's some type of taxing district is approved, at that point, the town of Goshen can say, we're not covering Hamptonburg, we're just not covering it.
Yeah.
Period.
We're
Because
not-
you'll
we
get
can do
whatever
that
you gotta,
now.
you'll get whatever you gotta get out of the Goshen people to cover the Goshen
But
people.
see, it might come to that,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
But I think that's
Okay.
what, I think that was what your concern is. I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if they, we can't tell them that they have to be part of our taxing district. We make our taxing district, but you can, it doesn't help the situation. It does not help.
Yeah, I mean, we'd almost.
Correct the
we would almost-
situation.
We, as a tax district, we would almost say, we're not covering it.
Well, we can say it
Other
now.
taxes.
He can say it right now. The ambulance corps can say, tell the county, we can't cover that. That's the end of that. Let Blooming Grove take on all of Hampton, or what was gonna do it.
I thought you said Blooming Grove
Yeah.
was going to either have some other arrangement.
They will.
Or they were going to mix it too.
I,
Well, I think
That's
there's-
what I'm saying.
There's also other factors. I mean, there is a money factor here, but there's also the factor of delivering emergency services to people within our area.
Right. Agreed.
And, that's the yin and the yang to it. We talk about the money, but it's also important to be able to service those people in Hamptonburg now, because that's part of our CLN.
that's the end, but you know what? We're the low-hanging fruit, and everybody's coming to pick off us.
Yep.
And the Goshen taxpayers are not the low-hanging fruit. Everybody needs to pay
Well,
their fair
there's
share.
another factor. You could take the money out of the A fund, and then that would be the village as well. So you
Why don't
could.
you just go to them, George, and
You
talk to
could, you
them?
could fund it through the A fund, and then it would be everybody, including all the village residents.
Right. I understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you like to see in order to, I don't know what the number's gonna be, but, we make suggestions, but Phil, what would you like to see in order for us to, assign like a one-time ARPA amount to them? Would you like to
I
see?
hadn't really thought about it.
Okay. So it's something that we're gonna have to think about
Yeah.
if we're gonna do it, because we gotta do it before the public hearing.
Yeah, we have time.
Yeah, I think that's why I was asked. We need to talk to the village and we need to talk to Hamptonburg.
The Hamptonburg, yeah,
Meantime,
to see what's going on.
Find out what's going on and then we'll.
When you say we're talking, you're talking about the ambulance corps.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
speaking to.
Yeah, you come back.
If you tell me, go ahead, I'll call both of them, doesn't matter to me. I have no issue calling Molly, no issue calling Bob Jankowski,
Well, I think that would be fabulous.
no problem. I'll
But
do it tomorrow.
again, not that I'm trying to point it off on you, I'll call them as well. But if you can call them,
Not a
I think
problem.
I think that has another
I will-
factor,
I will
because
call-
you're the supervisor, as well as a non-person within the ambulance.
I don't know if it's gonna carry any more load, but I'll give the call, not a problem. You should follow up with your own call.
Yeah. Because they're servicing the residents, so. Okay. All right, good.
Well, that being said, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to accept the tentative budget as of 2024 as a preliminary budget.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I need a motion to schedule a public hearing for the preliminary 2024 town budget on October, you said the 12th?
26th.
Well,
October 12th,
we changed it.
2023.
Yeah, we did. Christine will be out of town. Christine's gonna be out of town on the 26th, so I'm moving. it to
So-
the 12th.
So it's October 12th?
Okay, so, that doesn't, Christine, if we decided after the budget, since it's ARPA money, that we wanted to give additional money to go back, we can do that because the.
Sure.
Okay, so we don't need, it doesn't need to be
It
part of this
doesn't
budget?
technically have to be
Okay,
part of
all
the
right, very
budget,
good.
right?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, review and approve the resolution to make duck
Sorry, I
farm.
made a motion to schedule the public hearing.
I did. Totally.
I didn't get it.
I don't think we voted on it.
Sorry about that.
Alright.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion to set the public hearing for October 13th? October 12th.
12th, okay.
So moved.
Second,
All right.
all in favor?
Aye.
Review and approve the resolution to make Duck Farm Road and Partridge Lane a one-way road. We had a public hearing on this, correct?
Yes.
And we had one resident that,
2 people that were up there.
correct, the Duck Farm was a go right from the get-go, and
Yeah.
believe it, and Partridge Lane had the one resident on the corner who has since come to us and said, please change it. I see what your issue is now.
Ah.
So that, you know, the public hearing came and went, we closed it, so I just need and we have a resolution in place to make both Duck Farm and Partridge Lane a one-way.
So moved, it's two
separate
resolutions, two
ones.
resolutions.
Two resolutions.
It should be separate, right, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll do the Duck
Duck
Pond
Pond,
Road.
right,
So moved.
second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Need a roll call on that?
Yeah.
It's a
Phil?
resolution.
Okay, aye.
George? Aye. Rick?
All right.
Doug?
Aye.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the resolution to make Partridge Lane a one-way.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Phil?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Aye. Rick?
All right.
Doug?
Aye.
All right. Review and authorize the supervisor to sign change order number 3 for Solution School demolition. It's a reduction of the $10,000 allocated money in the original bid for the decrease in the contract associated with the unused portion of cash allowance for the soil bag laboratory analysis. So it's a $2,070 reduction of the original bid.
Okay, good.
So could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Review and approve the resolution authorizing the application T-Mobile Hometown Grant. It's a grant that our grant writer has written in conjunction with Kate Schmidt. It's $50,000. It's allocated for parkland, and it requires a matching amount if we win it. And this can go into, show what we were talking about when we had the last meeting when Mr. Roddy was here talking about the decaying equipment, and we talked about, you know, utilizing town money or town parkland money to get rid of some of that equipment. So that could all be done under this grant if we get it. So, anybody have any questions on it?
How long will it take to get that grant if we get it, you suppose?
I don't know, we just filed the application, and it comes every quarter, so I would imagine it's something that's relatively quick. But we're vying with a lot of towns.
Right.
A lot of towns that ask for the money. But it comes quarterly, so it's $50,000 every quarter.
Ah,
And they give it out to multiple municipalities.
okay.
And it looks like it's matching funds, so we would have to kick in 50.
We would kick that in out of parkland if we were gonna use it to replace all the equipment in the park.
In kind. So in other words, let's say the DPW people install. this.
Correct, exactly.
Could that count towards?
Correct.
We can do
exactly.
force account on that?
Yeah, in kind. right.
In kind.
Okay.
Mhm. All right, so if we have no issues on that, can I have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the application of T-Mobile grant?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, in conjunction with that, and Mr. Roddy's comments last time, we do, Trish and Sal LeBruna have gone through the parks. We do have some decaying, aging equipment, and Rick, I know, is heavily involved in this with his seat on the Park and Rec. So, you know, we're gonna have to start looking at dismantling some of this equipment. We already know that the Park and Rec insurance is gonna be going up and may not even be renewed because of the issues that the parks are all having across the country. So we're gonna we want to look to see if we can start to remove some of this defective equipment utilizing parkland
Is
fees.
this like playground equipment?
Yeah, all playground equipment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I saw some out there, looked at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're only, for us right now, I know that both the town and the village parks are in decay, but right now we're only looking at Craigville. That's the largest
Yeah.
park that we have, with the
Right.
most equipment. So, do I need some type of motion to approve? No? Okay, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, discuss and update the watershed 50. Watershed 50, we talked about forming a while back, and we have made tremendous headway on it. We have gotten Amy's Kitchen to approve the assignment of the water and sewer line from Middletown to us. We have the city of Middletown and the mayor agreeing to it. We are currently,
Now, we will own it when they assign it?
we will own it, yes, we will own it. Rory's working with Larry Lewinsky, their attorney. We got our first draft of that, correct? We're going back and forth on that. Along with that, we also have the two parcels of property that we agreed to purchase at the original cost to Amy's Kitchen. We have done the water test. We did a 24-hour water test on 2 wells. We produced 1.2 million gallons of water in one day. The well, lip-off well 1 went down 1 inch, lip-off well 2 went down 6 inches, all minimal in comparison to the water that we pumped out. So we definitely have water there. We have started the part 5 on both wells. We had samples come down from a company out of Albany, came down and has the samples. We anticipate that we will have the results of that back next week sometime. 2 weeks, they said.
Yeah, there was a little longer.
I spoke to Brian this morning, he thought they would be back by next Tuesday.
So Joe, does this mean that Amy's is not going to build here?
No, that doesn't, contrary to that. So part of our agreement is when Amy's does bill,
Yeah.
they get all of the water from Middletown, out of that line. They get all the water for it and they pay for that water out of Middletown. That was the only concession that we had to make. But we anticipated with the wells that we have there, we should be more than sufficient enough water to supply all that commercial district out there.
Okay.
Sewer also?
Sewer?
We're handling.
No, it doesn't matter where, they don't care where their sewer goes.
Yeah.
They just want to make sure that they're getting City of Middletown water for their food product, that's all.
But we have an agreement with Middletown. They're gonna assign the water rights or whatever to us.
We talked about that, I think they said they wanted to create a new agreement.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it is assignable, but they're, because of the dates and some of
Right.
the things on it, it's just gonna be a new agreement that essentially replicates what the previous.
That would be good, because
Fine.
in this agreement it says
Okay.
that no other towns can hook in on it, you know. And we're concerned about people wanting to build a subdivision out there, this and there. and want
It
water.
becomes 100% the choice of this town board, who they let on and not let on.
Okay.
That is out of district. In district, everybody has the right to
I
go on.
understand, right.
But out of district, if the town of Wayweanda wanted to do their part,
Right.
we would have to vote on saying yes or no to that.
So,
They wouldn't be the big issue, they would be, there's other people.
I understand where you're coming from. No need to,
Yeah, no, I wasn't,
yeah.
So-
big subdivision.
Go ahead.
in the agreement, what are we allowed to do with that?
Which one?
What is Middletown allowing us to do?
They're allowing us to
What is
take,
signed over to us, you know,
so
what can we do with that?
the initial agreement allows for Amy's Kitchen and now Goshen
Right.
to take in 360,000 gallons of water a day and 300,000 gallons of sewer going back out.
Okay.
However, there's a 12-inch line there, and that 12-inch water line can handle up to 1 million gallons.
Right.
So, but right now, the allocation from Middletown is only 300,000 gallons.
Okay, so we can do whatever we want with that allocation.
Under contract, when Amy's Kitchen opens, it must go to them. They have first right and first choice to that water.
Right, and then, but
But now,
if they,
No, right now, it's our water. We can start
yeah, but
selling it.
well, we have to be very careful, because if we allow people to come in based on the fact that we have an additional, that water or whatever, and then Amy's comes and says, no, we really need the water, how?
Right,
They're capped.
we have 1.2 million
Yeah,
gallons.
they're capped at, their aimage would be capped. So
They
you-
would be?
Yeah.
You know what the rest, what's available.
Okay.
If they max out.
Yeah,
And they don't
yeah, that's
anticipate,
fine.
I don't even believe they anticipate maxing out at that number, that's just a cushion, I
And
believe.
and the city of Middletown's working on other things at the Indigo Reservoir and
Yeah.
stuff, where they're gonna have additional water coming from the county. And that's why I'm saying the 12-inch line would allow us to go well beyond that 300,000 gallons, so if they're gonna need to sell more water, they can sell more water to us.
Okay, and there's no restriction as far as how we use the water that we're allotted?
It's allocated to the district that we create.
Right, other than the fact that Amy's has to take their piece first.
Correct.
So Middletown is, they're not saying you can't go down to, you know, the Chester line or whatever.
They say, go wherever you wanna go, to get us
Okay.
300,000 gallons a day, we need the money.
That's it, that's it.
Yeah.
There it is.
They want the revenue.
That's the answer.
And Amy's was at the point, and you were at the meeting with her, I think Amy's understood, they were at the point where the mayor was ready to squash it and pull it and not get the
Yeah,
notification.
it's
Because it's been sitting idle for 5 years.
untapped revenue for them.
Yeah.
Now, what about, who's gonna manage this?
We have to create probably a water sewer district, but JCO would do it right now. I've already spoke to them. I mean, it's gonna be an increase in our cost, but there's gonna be
Well, we're-
tremendous
we're
amount of
not in charge,
revenue.
but I guess there'll be meters for each of these people using, it, so we'll get paid for it.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm just wondering who would do it.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, we'll have anybody, anybody that is going to hook up and the construction cost, each individual is gonna pay that cost, like any other district that you have.
Well, I was thinking repairs and all the other kind of things that go
Yeah.
over time. Okay.
Okay.
We are also working with the county to extend the water and sewer down the Heritage Trail to 6.5 Station Road, because the county has reached out through some conversations I've had with them, that the Village of Florida has given them a suspension notice on that water and sewer going to the jail and the 911 center of September 2025. They will no longer be getting water from the village.
How about
So the county's.
the BOCES too? They were wanting us to.
Yeah, we have to be a little careful when we get outside the district watershed 50, because now you're allowed, I mean, I would love to help BOCES out, and we may be able to do that based on our attorney figuring out the best way to do that. But once you start getting down that road, then you get to the scenario where you got all that open land and you're providing water and sewer.
Right.
But yes, BOCES is in dire need of water and sewer,
I know.
dire need.
Yeah.
So we could find a way where we could extend that without extending to every single person in that area down there.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be done, I don't know, some type of emergency order based on the fact that, they're technically.
So the sewer will, so we're gonna use the sewer line also going back to the city of Middletown?
Correct.
Fine.
Okay.
That's good.
And that's with a max of 300,000 you can send to Middletown?
It's one or the other, it's 300,000 water, 360,000 sewer, I always
Okay.
reverse that.
It's within
Yeah.
30 or 40 of each other, but
But as I said, on the water side, once the city of Middletown, gets the wells up at the Indigo Reservoir and stuff, they're gonna have much more water. So I don't see, if we needed to draw more water from them, they would not say no, because the line certainly can handle it.
Right.
But as it stands now, we would be using the Amy's water initially until
Right.
Amy's is built. And then as it stands now, then we would flip to the lip-off wells.
Correct.
Right.
For water.
So,
For water.
we said, a couple of us already said it already, but I'll say it again. The county wouldn't go with the lip-off wells when they built the jail.
Yeah.
Who's the other, the county, and then who's the other? Amy's.
Yeah.
Amy's decided to spend all that money and go to Middletown
Right.
because they were afraid of the lip-off wells. So now this comes back to Part 5, we're all hunky-dory, everything's fine, hopefully, the water's good. But then 10 years or 5 years down the road, it starts siphoning off the stuff from the landfill, and then we can't use it anymore. I mean, that was the potential that the county and Amy's came to, I
Yeah,
think.
but the DEC has deemed the Altuary and the Orange County landfill clean. There's nothing toxic anymore coming out of there. There's no more leachate.
Really?
They're hardly pumping anything out of there. So you're not seeing much go into the ground. But you're still gonna you still gotta filter this water. You're still gonna have to put some type of filtration, system in there. You can't take the water out of there and feed it to any of the residents.
Right. I still have a remote concern because
Yeah, you should have,
the history of the lip-off wells.
But all you can do, George, is exactly what we're doing. We do a part 5, very intensive water. We'll find out what's in that water. We can't fear something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, I fear I'm gonna get into a car accident. That doesn't mean I stop driving.
True, I mean, I understand. And the next step is the part 5 and see what
Yeah.
comes back from part 5.
Exactly.
But I have, and I've addressed this already, but I'll say it again. I think I just heard you say, Joe, this is for commercial entities.
Commercial entities. That's all that's in Watershed 50, is all commercial.
Right, okay, so therefore, there's no possibility of high-density housing getting a hold of this water and sewer.
Now, George, that would be up to this board. I mean, it's all part of the zoning.
Well, you know where I stand.
I mean, I can't sit here and tell you that because it runs along 6.5 Station Road, and right now 6.5 Station Road is one family zoning. If we change the zoning to make that multifamily, sure, they're gonna get on there, but it's entirely up to us not to change the zoning. So this watershed and this water and sewer district is controlled by this town board based on the zoning that it's a commercial zone right now. It's a commercial industrial zone. There are a few minor single-family homes, but they're in the commercial zone.
Joe, following up on what George was saying, back when Amy's first came and they were testing the water and all this good stuff, there was a high level of concern, so they spent $10 million putting the lines in the middle. It wasn't just the volume, it was the quality of water or the potential for it. Once you start drawing water, that's when you pull the stuff through the soil and get in. And like I'm thinking about Milmar making foods. If this water goes to them, the liability, it will be significant.
The liability doesn't exist if you're treating the water.
It doesn't exist if
No,
you're
no,
approved.
heavy metals and things like that. I don't know how you're treating the water. It's got to be very specific.
But we have to determine that there's heavy metals in there.
Well,
In 2015, when they did when McGooey House did the part 5, there were no heavy metals in there.
that's not how it works, okay?
Okay?
What you do is you start drawing water, okay, from the wells, and it pulls from wherever, the water. And those things that are parked there today with no leachate or anything else are drawn to it. And so maybe 3 years when you're looking somewhere else, it gets in there and you get it in the food. And what I'm sharing with you, it's got to be very, so if this filtration system is beyond reproach, then fine. But I know Amy's was, their scientists were telling them, yep, the water may be fine today, but it's only over time with what you're pulling, it creates the problem.
There's always that possibility, but in 2015, the part 5 said there's no heavy metals. We can't make the assumption that the 2 wells that we're pulling water from, that we pulled 1.2 million gallons from, are this hole in the ground that are isolated just to us. It's all part of the aquifer. That entire area is the same aquifer. So we're drawing water.
I'm sharing with you though,
No,
the proximity of that. This is an active landfill for a long time.
Correct.
With a lot of batteries and everything, who knows what's in that soil? And I think that's where the fears of.
I'm sure there is.
Amy's scientists said, don't touch them.
Because they had a solution. If the solution wasn't there, they would have had to touch them.
No, they were gonna go to the village or somewhere else. They went to the village, the city, because the city said, yeah, we'll sell it to you.
The village pulls from wells out of the aquifer. They pull from wells. Their water is all well water, just
But I
like
think
ours.
that's a karst region and comes, all of that, all the veins go all over. It doesn't just pull directly. It's not like a straw in the aquifer. You've got a karst region and it pulls from miles around. And I mean, we went through this.
I'm just sharing with you, landfill.
But I am not gonna subject any of the people in that area to bad water. We're gonna do whatever we have to do.
Yeah.
If we continue to do nothing, we're gonna get to a point someday where there's just no water, because everybody else is getting it, and, we have no water. We have to create this district in order for us to sustain the future of that area.
But I think when we're building the filtration system, it's gonna have to be a continuous thing, looking at that constantly with, maybe we'll have to shut it down and do something else, but
I don't disagree with you. There's gonna be a cost associated with that. That's all gonna be factored into water. Water's not cheap anymore. It's a commodity that's expensive.
I know, yeah. Okay.
So, that's basically the update on Watershed 50. As more things happen, I will give them off to everybody. So then, just to follow up the last part of it is, essentially, what we're dealing with in this whole watershed is commercial zoning, and I guess there's some residential zoning. So if we
It's the
don't
commercial
change-
area, George, and there are some residents in there. There's also
In the-
residential
already.
homes in the commercial
in the
area.
commercial area. So effectively, what you're saying then is if we don't, and needless to say, I only speak for myself, I have absolutely no intention of changing zoning.
Correct.
We're safe.
Correct. Well, that's what controls growth in a town, is the zoning. So if
Yeah,
somebody
that's
comes
right.
up here and makes a compelling offer to make multifamily, and George says, I'm all for it, well, then it's gonna happen. If you're adamant that it's never gonna happen, it's never gonna happen.
Zoning controls it all.
Zoning controls everything. We can't be worried about the growth of certain people coming in, we just can't do it. Discussion of Lakeland's host community fee distribution of funds. So I reached out to, spoke to Rory first, then I spoke to Rick Golden. We'd like to see an allocation, instead of just everything going into A, to assign 25% of that host fee coming in to B only, because we're utilizing our police up there,
Yep.
our DPW up there, and right now the benefit's going into the A fund, and it limits Christine on what she can do. So spoke to Rick Golden, and Rick said, Joe, the host agreement was designed with the direction that Doug gave him. He wanted everybody to benefit in the town. We determined that, so all we have to do is create an addendum to that host fee saying that we're gonna allocate 75-25. It doesn't even need to be approved by Legoland. So that's all we
You know,
have.
I talked to Phil earlier today, and he was saying, well, in the village, gets money off of the sewer they process.
Correct.
And there's some background that says,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and we have the expenses of, I said, we have the police and so on and so forth.
We're allocating.
And, yeah, and it's a town, right, so I think we should,
Yeah.
said to Doug, I thought we should allocate this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Christine came up with a number 75-25. I'm good with
I
that.
think that's a good number.
Okay.
All right, so that's what we're gonna do.
So we need a resolution for that?
Do we need a
Yeah,
resolution?
I think you need a resolution.
Well, we need
I
it-
need the
correct.
addendum, and then the resolution would be right behind it, basically. They're gonna be one and one A.
So what we'll do is we won't vote on anything tonight.
No,
We'll give you the opportunity
no, you're basically authorizing me
to create the addendum to the host agreement and then create the resolution.
Okay.
That's correct,
All right, we'll bring that up at the next meeting,
correct.
or the following meeting. All right, very good. Thank you. We had another resignation at the police department. Please accept the resignation of part-time police officer Michael Oliva.
I hate to see you go.
He's leaving on September, he left already, September
Oh my
25th,
God.
2023.
Where'd he go?
I think he just retired.
Moved out
He
of here?
hasn't, he hasn't worked in probably 6 years.
Yeah, he
He
hasn't.
hurt his shoulder on another
Yeah.
job.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice fellow though.
All right,
I need a motion to accept the resolution.
so moved. Second.
So where are we on that one?
Aye.
That's-
We'll also send them a letter of appreciation.
Okay, good.
I beat you to it though.
Come on, man.
He's slacking off.
I know.
Review and approve the September 13 minutes. Anybody have any questions on them?
I just had one small change.
Sure.
She doesn't like it when I put my finger up here.
From now on, I'm just say, George, what changes? do we have to make?"
It's the first page. It's BLS. You have the ELS. It's BLS and ALS. I couldn't let that go, right?
No,
Sometimes
we just do it to test it, see if we actually
it has to do with the ambulance, we couldn't let it go.
All right, we're gonna, a discussion on the
Wait,
system
I
for
need a
public.
motion for the minutes, I'm sorry, Joe.
So
Oh, sorry. Motion, so moved.
And
Second.
George. I got Doug and George.
All in favor?
Aye.
Took my glasses off and didn't realize it. All right, discuss the system for public notification. This is kind of Mary's baby, so I'll let her explain what she's doing.
We had talked about doing on-call or emergency kind of notifications to people. So I looked at 3 different companies, and I think GoGov, the bottom one, is our best bet. It was cheaper. It's only a 1-year commitment in case we don't utilize it to the best of our abilities. I'm not quite sure. And the village is also going with GoGov right now. So they've had a good experience with them. I'm kind of letting them get up and run before.
I think they've had it for a couple of years, haven't they?
They had on-solve, they had Code Red, and they, for some reason, they didn't like it.
Oh, I see.
I
So
don't
we're
think they
going-
were utilizing it either, and it's expensive,
How
right?
expensive is it?
Code Red is the
No,
first
this
one.
one.
It's $42.60 for the year,
Yeah, they tried to do it through an app.
$4,260 for the year.
Yeah.
Is the budget already?
No,
Okay.
No, it's not in the budget.
Now,
And we can't take it from ARPA.
we
right.
can take it from Christine.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Fund
If-
balance
if-
or contingency.
Mary? If the village already has it, isn't that a duplication of service?
No, they don't do our village, and if something happens in the town,
They don't do it.
we're not on their plan.
Gotcha.
So I can give it to the police chief, I can give it to Broderick, to you. And this way, if something happens, the road closes,
Right.
if they're paving,
But what I'm saying is Christine is saying, I asked her if we could use ARPA money for this. She said no, because it's got to use town-wide, correct?
Right,
But I'm saying
because-
if the village already has
we're
it,
not gonna be able to control who signs up for it, because the village residents can sign up for our notification. Also, people in Connecticut can sign up for our
I know,
notification.
but we've done everything we can to allocate from the correct fund by saying it's town only. If somebody from the village signs up, we're not going to say no to them.
No,
I'm just looking for a way to use ARPA because we don't have it built into the budget.
I would just take it out of A.
yeah,
I really
Okay.
think that's where
I
it
think we
goes.
can
And
take
it's
it
not,
out.
you know, it's only $4,000. That's,
Yeah, it's not a
Okay.
big deal.
I could take it out of contingency if we need.
Ah,
All right, any other questions on it, any concerns on it?
just need a motion to go ahead with it.
I have a motion to go ahead and move forward with the system for public notification.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
With GoGov.
Go, go.
With GoGov.
Mary.
Discuss and approve the dog enumeration by the town clerk for a total of $1,941.90.
Yeah, I just want to send out, we haven't done it in probably 20 years. It's a postcard to let people know that they're supposed to be licensing their dogs. I'm using the same company that the assessor's office used for the STAR program last year,
Mm.
and it will go to 3,900 homes.
How do you know they have a dog?
We don't know.
Oh, I see, you send it to everybody. in case
Yeah,
they
we're
get-
hoping,
Yeah.
we wanted to go to the people that have dogs that haven't licensed their dogs.
I guess I'm not gonna get it.
You send one to my house? Because I never even knew it.
No,
You had a dog?
I don't.
I pay for my license every year.
He does.
Right.
I don't.
And somebody else, everybody else.
Yep. Okay, so any problems with that?
No.
Can I have a motion to approve the dog enumeration?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Nice.
Discuss and approve the notification to, discuss and approve a notification to all water districts advising that a $450 fee will be assessed if the appointment is not made within 30 days of the date of notification to install the cellular reads. Furthermore, a $450 fee will be assessed quarterly until the appointment's scheduled and the meter is installed. This is something that was very successful in Way Beyond. She initially couldn't get anybody to return calls, and the minute she assessed, the minute they assessed up there, they started getting calls. So we're hoping that we don't have to assess any fees.
So we would, in this case, send a letter to everybody with a billing and say, this is gonna happen to you, and you don't
Right.
follow our procedure.
Yeah, we just want.
I don't know if we're sending it to everybody, because Karina is going ahead and making the calls and getting,
Right.
and the people that she can't get through to or don't
We're
return
like
calls.
experimenting, our trial run is with Scotchtown water system. We've already,
Okay.
out of 42, we've installed 20.
Okay.
So we're doing good, but we know we're gonna have problems.
Some people will just not,
Yeah.
But we're not sending it to everybody.
No.
It's only after we haven't
Only
made,
after we
after
don't
we made
get-
communication multiple times, and they haven't even returned the call, then we will send the letter.
okay.
I need a motion.
Can I have a motion to approve the notification of,
So moved.
second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and approve the addition of the 5th and 6th quarterly billing cycle to 2023 in the water sewer billing year in order to bring the billing cycle to a calendar year for 2024. Mary, you want to explain that?
So our quarters are, we don't know why. We talked about it for a couple of years, how they were set up. Our first quarter, the billing goes out November 1st. It's for August, September, and October of the year. So we'd like to bring our quarters to the calendar year. So in order to do that.
Add 2 more quarters.
If we add 2 more quarters, we'll finish out 2023.
And then start with 4 quarters in
Yeah,
2024.
so we'll just have 1 extra billing, Nick, but it's only for 2 months,
And it'll be
Can I
prorated.
ask a question?
prorated.
What happens with the minimum then?
We'll prorate it
I don't
for
understand.
2 months instead of 3 months. Your last bill in December will be only for 2 months instead of 3 months. That's
And
all
the
that's
minimum
happening.
is gonna be lower then also?
Correct.
So
Take the
instead-
number, divide it by
We're gonna-
3, and
yeah.
then multiply it by 2.
Instead of 12,000 gallons, it'll be 9,000.
Correct.
Yeah. We'll
Which is
figure it
still
out,
ridiculous.
yeah. We'll make sure that you're not.
Oh, I'll let you know.
I know you will, yeah. It'll be it.
Mary, come the 2024, then the first quarter will be
January, February, March.
Yep.
So, isn't that great? I
Yeah,
wonder why they never did that to start with.
yeah, I don't know.
Why change something you've been doing for 50 years though?
Because it's confusing.
It's confusing. It's
Everybody.
confusing for the girls. We try to teach how to do billing, because we've got to count on our fingers and.
Plus, we're trying to get fully automated, we're trying to do the things to bring the district into the 21st century.
Yeah.
It's archaic right now. Ultimately, it's gonna save you money.
It's just paperwork.
Sure it will. Because there are people out there that, go, snowbirds that go away and they have a leak in their toilet, they come back for a $3,000 quarterly bill. We'll know that now,
Oh, with
How will
cellular.
you know that?
because we're putting cellular units on every house.
Oh, the cellular?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that now, I'm talking
No,
about
but-
the minimum on the,
Yeah. It's just more convenient, that's all.
I mean, the
Go
minimum.
on calendar
was-
year.
This is just for
It's 12,000
paperwork.
gallons.
Right, right.
I
And
need a motion.
I'll bet up there, there's probably only 2 people that use 12,000 gallons a year.
My house, I have a daughter.
Yeah,
and a wife,
yours,
so
yours I understand, but you and I don't know who else up there
Right.
does. Probably good.
With the consolidation, we're probably gonna go with something that's a minimum flat fee, and then you pay on all of your usage. There's no minimum
Gonna save you money.
included in the usage.
But yeah, so I was gonna say that, we are working on something, we realize that the 12,000 gallons is a little ridiculous for, 2 people, 2 seniors living in the house, so we're looking at that when we do this consolidation that we're going through right now. So I think, like Christine said, you'll see a small minimum or a nominal minimum, and then you'll pay per gallon.
Doesn't get better, Nick.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You'll
All right.
pay less, someone else will pay.
So I don't need do I need a motion? I need a motion to add the addition of the 5th and 6th quarterly billing cycle to 2023.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Since we're in a good mood, can Mary have ARPA money?
More ARPA money, that's all they use, ARPA money.
Well,
We're gonna run out fast.
The one thing we will be is, we'll be one of the probably only communities that's very successful in not giving any money back to the federal government.
Yeah.
Discuss and approve a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable check run for September 28 in the amount of $243,698.67. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Information, our budget officer performed an accounts payable review for for September 13, 2023. It's in your packet. I don't know if anybody looked at it, any questions on it. She's here, she can answer them.
Jim, Supervisor,
I know.
okay. I just was reminded.
There are 2 items on the, that weren't on the agenda that I said I would speak to you guys about, because Ryan is here. I wasn't gonna let you go home, Ryan,
I'm going either way,
All right, so we got the draft agreement, payment in lieu of tax agreement for the solar project, Alturas. Ryan has done very well in convincing, or hoping to convince the school district to take a lesser amount. We're gonna be getting 25% of that instead of the normal amount. The draft is in front of you. I don't know if you guys had a chance to review it. I know we got it late today.
Yeah.
But I'd like to, see if we can get it approved and he can put this one away.
For what it's worth, I've reviewed it, so
You have?
from a legal standpoint. We've
Okay.
done a few of these, we've done a few of them with this particular organization, so, a company, so,
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
Well, if he's raised our share to 25%, I'm all.
Yeah, I was signing,
I'm
pass it
all in.
before they change their mind.
I'm all
Yeah.
in, right now.
Yep.
You need a motion?
I need a motion to accept the
Accept the
payment in lieu of
draft.
tax agreement.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
we need a roll call.
Roll
Bravo.
call, yeah.
Yeah.
Bill?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Aye. Rick?
Good job.
Doug?
Aye.
All right, so moved.
For it.
All right, second one is the decommissioning plan for Alturas.
Oh,
Roy, you went over any concerns, legal
No.
concerns?
No, and again, not that this legitimizes it, but it's not the first time we've worked with this particular individual organization, and the exact same type of project, although this is different in that it's got a non-cash
Non-cash
component,
component, right. we
which you
agreed
guys
that-
recall because of where it is.
Where it
Yeah.
is.
And the way it was set up. So that is the unique portion of that, but that's authorized by our code now due to change in the code that we did earlier in the summer with the local law to change the code to allow for it to be a performance.
Yep. Yeah.
And is that going to be a performance bond that's written to do business in New York?
Generally
Insurance
speaking, that's
company?
what, yeah, I mean, our sureties are generally New York based, so.
Well, the
That-
reason for it is there's that fund that if they go belly
Yeah.
up, you potentially could get the money back, whereas it's.
I don't believe that's written into that agreement specifically like that, but I was just given a nod from Mr. McCune
Yeah.
that will be a New York-based surety, but in
Have
the
any issue with
future.
us adding it to it?
I don't-
No, sir.
Okay.
All right, so.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
So,
I don't see, how much is the bond for?
$409,319.88.
408, it says here.
408, I'm sorry, I didn't have my glasses on.
I didn't need to put it in motion, sorry guys.
Yep, I got you.
And 88 cents.
Yep. All right, so.
It's that,
can I-
that 88 cents was really gonna break the bank. So,
Yeah.
It is, yep.
Just with the.
I want it, for sure.
yeah, you get it.
Just to add in that the, it's a New York surety
Yep, I will.
on the motion, and
New York
I'll,
is sure.
So I need a motion to approve the decommissioning plan for Alturas Solar, issuing a decommissioning bond in the amount of $408,319.88, and with the update of adding the New York State.
the surety bond is
From
based
New
out
York
by
State.
New York State bond
Right.
provider.
So moved.
Second. Second. All in favor?
You need a roll call now?
Yes.
Phil?
Aye.
George? Aye. Aye. Rick?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Congratulations, Ryan. You can drive 3.5 hours home.
It's only 3. But
Where do you live?
I live in Ithaca, New York.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, but luckily I was in Waywoyanda last night.
You're
So
not-
you guys
you're
aren't
not
my
going
only
to
stop.
Toledo.
I'm
Ryan,
in
if I
Ithaca.
can ask a question, when are you on this? When do you anticipate this starting?
So there is obviously the cap repair that needs to happen first. It needs to be stabilized. Our expectation, just because of timing at this point, is that cap repair will happen as soon as DEC authorizes it in the spring, and we'll follow up shortly thereafter. So I would imagine we will be deploying to the site probably, let's call it mid to late June.
Very good. Have a safe drive home.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I'll open the floor to public comment. Bill?
Okay, I just, thank you to the board for your work on the budget. The residents really appreciate it, no increase in the town tax.
Or
Very-
village.
Very, sorry?
Or village. Or village or
I
town.
missed that. Well, I'm only here to compliment this board, so.
You're thinking,
But there's no reason the village portion of their tax. So the village residents are not getting a raise on their town side.
He doesn't care, he's from the town. That's good to say.
Anyway, thank you, Christine.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, nice, thank you, Bill.
Can
Yeah.
I back up to item 14, the cellular leads? Those are installed already?
They're
Yeah.
getting installed.
They're getting installed
Yeah.
in all the water
We
districts?
started in Scotchtown, right?
Scotchtown.
Scotchtown, they're not sending us all that we need, so they're giving us the units in allocations of 20, I think, right?
20, 40.
Yeah.
We
So
figure it'll
we're-
take about a year to be,
Yeah.
18 months to get everybody.
Correct,
And each house is gonna be assessed for, I guess,
correct, the cost of it, the capital cost of it, correct.
cost, which is,
What did that cost? What,
$340.
$340.
and I'm hoping these things are tamper-proof, that they're just not disconnectable like the present ones.
Correct. They're gonna be tied to the cellular, so we'll know when it goes offline, instantly.
And
We'll also
so-
know when you have a leak instantly.
And so will you, Nick.
Yeah,
I'm filling
have
my pool, it'll
access to
become.
Yeah, but you will get an alert on your phone.
phone,
You can sign up, and like, say you go away for a couple of weeks, you'll get an
A
alert on your
couple
phone.
of months that I'm doing. Okay, now, the reason why I'm really here is, just help me understand how you guys decided you were gonna sell properties to Legoland without a referendum?
we brought it up, didn't we?
What's that?
The permissive referendum,
Hmm?
we voted on it, right? We had a public hearing,
Yeah.
we had,
You didn't have a permissive referendum.
we,
Well, permissive referendum is,
Required.
it requires that someone
Public.
to go secure.
Right,
That's
that
it.
was done,
Nobody petitioned for one.
nobody,
it had been done previously,
what had been done previously?
a petition for referendum.
For the sale of the property to them,
Excuse me?
for the sale of those lots to them.
Yes,
But it was dropped, never went through, never sold,
but the referendum's still out there.
not that I'm aware of.
I'll look into it, I'm not
There was a
aware of it.
referendum that the appellate court ruled valid April 2018.
No, I'm aware of the history of it, but I don't understand it to be still out there in that sense. But I'll look into it,
Well, why wouldn't it be out there?
because the sale didn't go through, the thing was dropped, so on the initial,
So essentially what happened, as I wasn't here, but I'm assuming essentially what happened was is the town board at the time agreed to sell property to it. Enough people got together and created, asked for a permissive referendum, they won it.
Right.
They sued on it. They won in court, and it was dropped. We never sold it. As I understand it, I'm not an attorney. I'm not an attorney, but as I understand it, that means the case is closed, it's over and done with.
But now it's being sold.
It's being sold after we had a public hearing, and they could have came back and done the same thing again. Correct.
It's up to the people who are at the public hearing to create that, your position.
If you're in Maryland, it's pretty hard to do. But
I'll look in, I'll check to see.
Yeah.
My understanding is not far off from what supervisors were stating, is that based on the way that the lawsuit played out, that it essentially became a moot point. I don't believe the permissive referendum sits out there.
I think at that point, Legoland decided not to pursue the purchase of the property.
Correct. That's why it
So
was
it's
dropped.
like,
It wasn't a
it's like you
lawsuit.
have,
Mhm.
the lawsuit became moot because it's essentially dropped, even if there was success to get the permissive referendum. But I'll look into it. I don't
know that it's specified at that time, but
Well, I mean, I don't have it in front of me, and so
No, I
it'd be a
don't
little
either.
irresponsible for me to give
And-
you
and quite honestly,
a
the
answer.
parcels that were sold to them were essentially nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, little slivers of property, they were
not
just
little
trying
slivers, it's over 4 acres of land.
on,
It wasn't over for.
One is over 2, the other one is over 1, and the other one is around 1 acre.
but they're landlocked pieces of property with no access or no use.
One of them is landlocked.
One of them is landlocked, one parcel is
One
landlocked.
parcel is landlocked.
I looked at the map, I didn't see any
One
access from
parcel,
any.
I also believe, contains Arcadia Hills piping for their wells. That would be lot number, I have it somewhere. Just a second.
If you don't have it, you can get it to us, and then I'll
Yeah.
have Dominic take a look
Lot
at
number
that.
63.
What is it,
63,
63?
yes. And lot number 69 is not landlocked. We're going to the seeker review. You decided not to have another one. Those properties have been pouring water into the Arctic. They flooded Arcadia wells. They flooded properties, and still you don't think it deserves another review.
the sale of those properties, another review?
Yeah, seek a review on those properties.
Those properties that you believe are the ones that were putting water into the article?
Sure you are. I mean, you go and cover up another 4 acres of property, that's not gonna help matters, is it?
I'm sorry, I guess I'm lost. Cover it up with what?
What are they gonna do with it? They're gonna
They're
black-
just leaving open space. They don't intend to
in the
build
middle
any.
of a parking lot.
But they have to come back to us if they build anything else anywhere on that property. They just don't have free rent because they own the property. They have a certain area that's been approved in a square area. All the property that we sold is not part of that original approved area. So anything they want to put on any of that property, they still have to come back to the planning board, the town board, and get approval.
See, nothing's changed when we owned it versus them owning it. It's just there.
It's just it was a cleanup and making it just cleaner for them to own all the property surrounding, all buffer around their facility.
Oh, I understand that completely, yeah. But when they come back to you again saying, we're paving it, what are you gonna say? No, you're not.
Paving it for what?
It's in the middle of a parking lot. That's why they wanted the properties to start with, so that they could.
Oh, the one particular lot.
There's 2 lots.
I'd have to take a look at it, but I'm not sure.
There's the 2 triangular lots, which would be, what was it, 69, 68, I believe, which is a total of over 3 acres. They're not little pieces of property.
Okay.
I mean, you're gonna cover up another 3 acres on a hilltop. Where's that water gonna go from there? It's gonna go down into the Otter Kill, which is right below it.
Okay,
Which is a drainage.
which is where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the Otter Kill flows, and the Otter Kill pollutes.
With
They've been polluting the Otter
rain
Kill.
runoff?
They've been polluting the Otter Kill up there since they began construction, or destruction.
I think that's an inaccurate statement. I think when they were clearing out, you had a lot of silt coming down from where they cleared out. But I sit on the Otter Kill every day. I own Otter Kill Country Club. I watch it all day long. We pull water from it. That water that comes out of the Otter Kill is not filthy, dirty, and disgusting like it was when they were constructing up there. There's no silt coming down. And the runoff that you got from that parking lot is good, clean runoff water. What? I mean,
Line. My driveway is in good, clean runoff water. You're not telling me there's someplace where.
You're saying that it's contaminated water that's going in there. You're saying that it's, this additional property is going to create an issue for the Otter Kill being contaminated. I disagree. I mean, your opinion it is, my opinion it doesn't, and I'm effectively looking at the Otter Kill every single day. But I don't see the town and the residents of the town got good money for property that was useless to the town. We didn't give it away. We got 3 times the value of it.
No, 4 hilltop acres in Goshen is not cheap property.
It was appraised by our appraiser and their appraiser. It came in at X dollars. They paid us 2.5 times the value of it.
The appraisal was also done 6 or 7 years ago.
Correct.
Yeah.
The property values haven't gone up 3 times in 6 or 7 years.
There's a third of an acre available in Arcadia Hills. They want $85,000 for
And you
it.
let me know when they get it.
They're asking for it.
I could ask for $17 million for my home. That doesn't mean I'm gonna get it.
No, it doesn't.
Right, so give me something that was sold, and then I could address it for you. But just because somebody's asking for $85,000 lot in Arcadia Hills, that doesn't mean they're gonna get it.
No, it doesn't. No.
I think we secured a really good deal for the residents of the town of Goshen on this property. It had no value to the residents of the town of Goshen. The runoff and the water that's associated with anything they may do in that parking lot will be looked at by our town building inspector and our engineer. And remember, we're an MS4 community, so we have to make sure all the runoff and everything is done properly. We will make sure that the town looks at what's in the best interest for the residents of this town.
Well, I've got one more in this thing. When we had the referendum, I still find it hard to believe that a review shouldn't have been done on that property.
Well, we'll look into it.
Yeah, you're gonna look into it.
I'm,
That's all, that's.
I mean, with past history of what they're doing up there, I mean, the review that was done previously was completely wrong. That, it wouldn't be affecting the Otter Kill. It does. I mean, it still does.
But I'm not sure it affects it in an adverse way. It's runoff. You're worried about runoff, correct?
It's silt, yeah, it's runoff.
No, you don't get silt from runoff unless there's dirt.
Yeah.
This is all grassy area.
I still get dirt in my pool that blows from that property.
Okay, we take a look at that, if, you know, I can see from that hill, it's all green.
Yeah.
I don't see any dirt when I walked it, I drove up it, I wanted to see some of the parcels before we sold it. I mean, it's all green, it's all grown.
Okay, I'm not allowed on the property, so I can't do that.
Well, you can see it there.
No, I can't see it. All right, we'll look into that one piece of property that I think contains Arcadia Wells.
We will, and if it does, then we're gonna have to do something with that, yes.
And that-
I don't think Land ever took our well. We always had an easement.
No, this is the
in
pipe that goes.
This is the
through
pipe that connects the,
63
one of the wells
that goes through it.
that goes from the
I don't
well
know if that's true or
through,
not.
down the side, and connects into another well.
There'd have to be an easement on that, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Through that property?
Well, it's just one skinny little piece of
Doesn't
road.
matter, it's gotta be an easement.
yeah.
Maintenance and
Well,
everything.
I'm not saying good or bad, I'm just telling you, if the pipe runs through it, there's gotta be an easement.
I don't think we've any pipes in there,
All right, we'll take a look at it. Yeah, absolutely. If it is, then we'll address it, for sure.
Are these properties sold?
Yes,
Yeah,
The deal is complete.
yep,
oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
anytime, you're welcome. Anybody else? Hey, can I have a motion to close this 10/28/2023 meeting?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?